Yeah, team news. Destiny is better. Have trained with the team twice, full trainings and also other trainings. Just too short to be involved for City. We want him to train tomorrow and have another good week next week as well. So, but he's in a good place. It looks very positive about him. Biz will miss this game as well. No, Kulusevski is out. I think that's a longer one. I don't want to put a time frame on it. Yeah.
Now, look, transfers your favourite subject, Thomas. Not too long left till you don't have to have any questions about them. But there's been a couple of scenarios this summer that have been played out very publicly. So Tottenham fans have seen what happened with Morgan Gibbs-White, and then as of very recently with Eberechi Eze now choosing to join another club. How much of a blow is it for you when you have targets and the club has targets that you want to sign and something doesn't quite happen and you can't get them over the line?
I mean, in general, of course, you know that I don't speak about specific players unless they are at our fantastic club. Then I'm more than happy to speak about all our players. So that's one thing. Secondly, and there's been a lot of rumors linked a lot of players, also players I'm thinking, oh, he's been linked with us, oh, interesting. But a lot of times where there's definitely nothing in it. So that's part of the business we talked about before. There must be someone out there that thinks it's good fun to put the rumors out there. But anyway, there'll be a lot of links. There has been a lot of links. There'll be a lot of links in the future. And so just to generalize that, to make it very, very clear, I don't want any players that don't want to come to the club. They don't want to come to the club and wear this fantastic badge, then we don't want them here. I think that's very clear. And also pretty sure that the fans will feel the same. If they don't want to put the fantastic shirt over their head, play for the badge, play for the club, really enjoy it, no problem. Then we don't want them there. So I think that's a key message.
What message would you give to those fans, though, who see those names, probably understand everything you're saying about wanting to come here, but maybe set their hopes and expectations on those players potentially coming? What's your message now to fans, considering there's only 9 days left in the window?
I think, as I said, there's a couple of things. I said it many times, I'll say it again. The club is working very hard to see if we can strengthen the squad, and we only want to strengthen the squad with players that we think is good enough and can improve the squad. So that's they've done from the beginning, and that we'll continue doing to the end of the window.
And Thomas, look, you spoke about Richarlison quite a bit. You've been asked lots of questions on him. Started very well under you the first couple of games. There's still plenty of talk about where his future lies and whether he was included in a potential deal with another club to bring in a player. I'm trying not to mention any names right now. What's the message to him when there are rumours circulating or there is potential that he might be used to bring in some other players? What's the message to him? Because I'm sure you want him firing on all cylinders for you when you've got him.
Right now, he is my starting 9. He's scored 2 fantastic goals. He had 2 top games. He's the Brazilian number 9. He's a very good player. So I'm very happy with him. Rich, you want to stay? I want to keep him. There's been no talks about anything else. He's done well for us.
Thanks, Thomas.
Okay.
Afternoon, Thomas.
Afternoon.
In terms of your creative options at the moment within the squad, I mean, how do you view that area of the pitch? And, are the club actively looking for a player in that particular area?
I think we just played the first game, scored 3 goals. So I think that was pretty promising. I know it's a long season and we don't need enough players and players with different abilities. I think in some of the players we have, Kudos I think is got that spark and creativity. I think Wilson does it well. I think Mattis Tell can play different positions. We've got 2 good strikers in Dom and Richie, and then Brennan, the deep runner. So I think we got how can you say, variation up the pitch. But again, we look out there, and if there's anything that can strengthen it, and that is in all areas, then we're open for it.
clean sheet last weekend, and of course you employed a back four last weekend. We saw a back five against PSG. In terms of your extensive experience of facing Manchester City and going to the Etihad Stadium, and really taking them down to the wire, because I think last season it was 2-1 to City in that game at the Etihad Stadium. What do you feel is the best approach to getting a result there and against City?
I think I don't think there is a go-to system or go-to approach. That is something we are working hard on, of course, the way with our principles. I think the main thing is that we need to go there and be brave. We need to have enough spells on the ball where we can control phase 1 and 2. I think would be a big area. And then I think it's a team that has been except from last year, I think the 4 or 5 years before that, they were probably the best team in the world. And there's no doubt that they want to bounce back. They've definitely been active in the transfer window. If I know Pep well enough, he'll do everything he can to have demands, but also to push the players and want to bounce back, and they'll come flying out. So we definitely need to be good on the defensive side of the game, but that's not only loads, it's also hopefully being brave in the high pressure. So I think it's about brave and aggressive is 2 keywords.
I mentioned the game against PSG. Obviously, it was a really good performance for around 80 minutes. I know the result wasn't the one that you'd wanted. A great performance and a result against Burnley last weekend. So if you were to go to the Etihad Stadium tomorrow and get a positive result, what kind of a message do you think that would send out to everyone? What kind of a marker do you think it could put down early on in this campaign?
No, I think the next game is the most important game, and that is against City, one of the 3 big contenders for the titles. We know they're a fantastic team, a fantastic manager. So to get a result there, but also with a good performance, that will just build a bit on the momentum and the bits we have here. So we are fully confident. We believe we can get a result there. That's what we're playing for. To be brave, but also extremely respectful about Manchester City.
Thanks, Thomas.
Thank you.
Hi Thomas, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You stated earlier you only want players to come and play for you at this club that want to wear the shirt, really want to wear the shirt, and really committed. In that respect, is it a positive then that the player you were chasing this week, who is an Arsenal supporter and has wants to go to Arsenal, actually looks like he's going to join Arsenal rather than come and join you?
I don't know about whoever the player is, whoever they support. I actually do not care too much about, because we all have a past. The main thing is if the player want to come or not want to come. So if they are from Spain, Denmark, Brazil, doesn't matter. If they want to come, perfect.
To that end, this summer you've high-profilely been chasing 2 players, one at Forest and one at Palace. Presumably that money is still there for you to spend in the next 10 days in whatever position on the pitch you feel you need to spend it on. Is that correct?
The correct is that we are in the market, and we will look to see if we can strengthen the team. That's the main bit. And that's what we are focusing on. I think we need to have some good processes. We need to work hard to see if we can strengthen it. But again, I've said it before, I think we got a good squad. We got good players. Just saw 23 committed players working very hard on the game plan for Man City tomorrow, and that's what I'm excited about.
And despite the long-term injuries you have with James Maddison, Dejan Kulusevski and Heung-min Son having left the club, you're confident, off the back of that answer I take it, that if you don't sign anybody between now and the closing of the transfer window, this club is well equipped to be very competitive in the Premier League and the Champions League?
I think it's a good question. Of course, we need to do everything we can to make sure we are as competitive as possible. As I said before, I think we got 6 good front players that I think is very competitive and across all the competition we're going into. And then Kulusevski, he will come back in this season. I think that's a big thing. It's probably longer term with Maddison, unfortunately. But I'm also pretty confident that we will sign a player before the end of the window.
Ali. Thomas.
hi.
It's kind of following on from that in a way, and I guess it's about those numbers. It's about Kudus and Palhinha coming in as the two new faces, but then Sonny and Madders going out. So is the squad really stronger than the one you inherited when you first came in?
You can say that's 2 players in, 2 players out, so probably pretty similar, I would say. But also, as I said, I think my first press was that I think it's a good squad. I think there's some talented players. I think there's some quality players in there as well. So probably the same level, but I think that's good. And then it's up to me together with the players and the staff to make sure we can compete. And then, as I said, we do what we can to strengthen it.
I think you said in a previous press conference, ideally every manager would like players in early in the window because you can work with them and everything.
Yeah.
But is there any fear with this stage, I think with 10 days left or so, that we're at this stage where the club is trying to sign players from clubs that at this point maybe don't want to sell them because it's so late in the window?
I don't know. I think, in general, any club want to sign as early as possible. I don't think anyone want to do that differently. If it was that easy, then everyone could do it. I'm a positive guy. I'm not that fearful, if that makes sense. I believe that something will happen.
I think on tour you mentioned about trying to get it's a natural process of the recruitment side, getting to know you a bit better like you had at Brentford and streamlining that. Where are you at with that? Has that got any kind of further down the line now?
I think that's that's an ongoing process. That is every day, every week. How we do things, how we understand each other, how they understand. Let's say the type of football, how I see players, how I see the game. So that will only grow over time. To expect it to be perfect in 8 week time is probably not realistic. But we're definitely getting closer.
Just want to tag on very quickly because it's part of the same thing. I think you said the coaching staff as well. Your meetings at Brentford were 15 minutes and here they're an hour. Have they brought that down yet?
Maybe 57 minutes. So slightly better. No, good processes is also. I also love to discuss football and love to develop and get better, and that we only do by discussing things. So I think it's been some fantastic discussions. Welcome.
Finish with George at the back, please.
Hi, Thomas. A lot's gone on this week, but it did start with Christian Romero signing a new deal, so you're not going to be asked about his contract situation anymore. How sort of pleased are you that he's going to be here for the long term?
I think very pleased. I think that was a fantastic signal from the club, and of course from Christian Romero as well, that he believe in the club and the project and the journey we just started. So I was extremely happy with that, and I also think that's I understand the exciting thing is to sign players, but I think is as exciting as maybe even more crucial is to sign existing that was difficult top players, and he's one of the top players and he's our captain. So he believe in that. I think was a big statement.
And I guess just from your own point of view, you kind of inherited a tricky situation. You've replaced a manager that's just won a trophy, but it feels like you've made a really strong start to life at Spurs. The PSG performance, obviously Burnley win. Kind of from the outside, it almost feels like you've been let down so far with this transfer window, with only 2 in and 2 out. Do you kind of feel like you've been let down?
No, I think say to my players, if they work very hard, and do everything they can, we can't ask for more. I know the club is working extremely hard, and it's unfortunately not. How can you say, you can't go in wage rows and I want to buy 2 good players and then go and walk away 5 minutes later. It's a little bit more complicated. So I see the club work hard. I see Daniel working extremely hard, Johan, Vinay, and we're all on board in terms of do what we can do to improve.
And just finally from me, the 3-5-2 formation worked really well against PSG, and you've used that in the past against Man City to good effect. I guess when you've kind of got a system like that you know can work, do you just go with it anyway, even though there isn't a surprise element, or do you always like to have a kind of surprise element up your sleeve when you don't go into these big games?
I trained every game a little bit different compared to, but that's definitely in my mind. 3-5-2 definitely my mind, whatever 4-2-3 and I will take a decision on what we do. You'll see that tomorrow. But I'm always thinking, how can we tweak it a little bit inside our principles? And then, of course, systems can do something, but principles is the most important thing. So, yeah, I will use, as I said, I'll be pragmatic. I'll use different systems, different ways to win football matches.